Hello, ladies and gentlemen, it's Mike here at Gamefromscratch, and today we're going to be taking a look at a very interesting and very unique game engine. This is the Kaiju game engine. Oh wait, no, that's the wrong monster. This is the Kaiju game engine. So this one, what makes it so unique? Well, mostly this. What you see over here, this is a game engine for the Go programming language. I actually only know of one other one out there, and it is a 2D only game engine. So if you want to use Go to create your games, well, Kaiju is your only option. So you see available up on GitHub here, it is the Kaiju engine, also available at kaijuengine.com. We'll come back to that in just a second. This is an open source project. Interestingly, the license doesn't open up right, but it is MIT licensed, so very liberal license in that regard in terms of what you are capable of doing with it, so that part is very nice. If you do like what they're doing here, come on in and drop them a star. But what is the idea behind the Kaiju game engine? Well, the features you can kind of see down here. So it's got a 2D and a 3D game editor, built-in editor. By the way, like Godot, the editor is actually written using the Kaiju framework, which is pretty cool. So it's got Windows, Linux, Mac, and Android versions available, particle systems in there, 2D and 3D animations, music, sound effects, and 3D sound sources. You can create your own custom UIs using HTML and CSS markup, live shader updates on GLSL changes, editor plugins, support via Go, faster builds than other game engines, better performance than other game engines, and it is a work in progress, and you're going to see that. Now, the engine itself, the underlying engine, is considered production ready. However, the editor is not. So one thing to be aware of when you're dealing with Kaiju is just definitely, wear a hard hat. This is a work in progress. The cool thing here is if you come on over here and check out the releases, you can actually get precompiled binaries for macOS and Windows. I assume that's the Linux binary right there. Not 100% certain, but you can get precompiled binaries, and that's what we're going to go ahead and check out. So again, this is a little bit of a let's say, Brave New World here. If you're going to check this one out, you're kind of on your own in some regards. You can see here there is a demo project. I will go ahead and show you where you can grab that, and it is Sudoku. So if you ever played that game, this is implementing it. What you see right here, this is a stage. You can create a stage over here. So basically file, new stages. Stages are created with a bunch of stuff in them. That stuff then can be used to create more complex things. You can create templates, which are like prefabs, which you can drop into your game world. Everything is basically drag and drop. So you can see here the U in the scene, I can go ahead and move that around. You may also be kind of wondering when you first get here, how do I move things around? Well, this one is going to be very weird to you, or it's going to click immediately. To move something, you grab it and hit the G key. The grab, so this is using, or to scale something, hit the S key. To delete something, you do not hit the X key, which is a little weird. You would expect it otherwise, but R is the R key. So yes, it is using the Blender hotkeys for movement. One of those things you just want to be aware of. Now, I'm not going to pretend for a second I really understand how this engine works. Number one, I have no idea how Go works. Go is not a programming language I have a lot of familiarity with, and I also couldn't tell you if it is a good game engine for game development or not. Judging by the lack of game engines out there, it is probably not the greatest fit, but it is a systems level engine, so it should be able to do high performance code. Now, what you're going to notice here, I do have this attached. This is the menu startup code. That is what runs on this whole thing. So that's how you link things together. You can link in these user data or entity data, which basically just creates Go objects, and then you can link them in. So this is, again, master has this menu startup attached to it, and then what you could do is go ahead and load in the other stage. So this is the main stage. Okay, so we're on main right now. So switch over to game. So main goes to game, and then here you are in the game phase. So then over here, for example, you've got a light. We move the light around in the world, change the values for it here as well. You've also got things here. You do have shader editors, so you can actually create shader editor and live edit it over to like Visual Studio Code and see the updates on the fly. You also have basic settings for materials and so on. You do have the HTML layers here. I do have some problems with this, so again, work in progress, something to be aware of. You got a content manager right here, and then of course you go back here to your stage editing. It is a 2D and 3D game engine, so for example, I could come in here and create another one. I'm going to switch over here to 2D mode, and then boom, you can see bringing a sprite in. Once again, Blender style controls for moving things around. And then if I wanted to control this particular sprite, I could just create a data object to go with it, and then I could attach it accordingly. So then we get into the code side of things. How is the code being set up here? Well, that is done over here. So I'm going to open up the code editor, and again, this is entirely Go. So Go is not my language of choice, but here you can see the entry point for our game is main.go, and then so over here, main.go, enter point there. Let's get rid of that. So there is the starting point of your game. You also have main.go, which is your literal entry point, which then calls here. And then, of course, that goes ahead and creates your game. Now, you notice our menu was hooked up earlier on. The menu is actually, so we head them back over here. You're going to notice, let me just go back into our menu, which is this guy over here. Your menu, let's go back to 3D. The master object, the menu object that's linked, is an entity called menu startup. We head on over here, menu settings, menu startup. This is then the code that is being run behind the scenes for that particular level or scene or stage or however you want. So this is kind of how the things are hooked together. Again, I'm not going to get into the details of the code because Go is just not a language that I have any familiarity with, and really honestly, I don't have enough of a payoff on the other end in terms of demonstrating stuff to you guys to make learning Go worthwhile. It's not really a typical game development language like C++ or C# or even JavaScript or TypeScript or so on. But again, obviously, you can create games using Go. So if you are coming from a Go background, you may very much appreciate this one. So this, again, available up on GitHub under the Kaiju engine over here. Also, what you saw in action, that was the Sudoku demo. You can go ahead and basically that's your best bet. What you want to probably do is come in here and grab the release. So go into the releases and grab the release for your version of choice. By the way, if you want to build it yourself from code, there are instructions down here basically on how to clone it. You can use built-in, pre-existing pre-built libraries, make your life easier to get it up and going. But the easiest way, of course, would be to literally just download the version from releases for your platform of choice, so Linux, Mac, or Windows right there. And then go ahead and clone this repository into a different folder. This, again, is the Sudoku project we saw in action right there. I'll have both of these linked in the link down below, so if you want to go ahead and check them out, you can grab it accordingly. And then just open it up. So when you first fire up the editor, like so, you can come in here, you can either create a game like here, or basically go ahead, open the project up wherever you downloaded. I think I put it into temp. So boom, just open up that folder and select it, and then you can load that project up accordingly. So that would be where I would recommend starting things. Now, the good news with this one is that once you get in here and you go to kaijuengine.com, you will find this is their homepage, and they have kind of a getting started with the editor or without the editor. So if you want to do things just with code, by the way, you can. You do not need to use the editor at all. And in the code side of things, it is considered complete and more robust. Otherwise, you're going to find some things are certainly lacking. So come in here, you want to learn about physics, you got physics details in here as well, and then drill on down here, you got details on how all the various different pieces work, how they all work together, and so on. And then we've got an API reference here as well. So you've got good documentation of this guy. If you want to come in and just figure out how things work, it is all available there. So that, ladies and gentlemen, is the Kaiju engine, a 2D and 3D open source MIT licensed game engine using Go, and on the back end, the Vulkan language. If you are looking for something a little bit simpler or 2D only, the only other one I can think of right now is eBit Engine, which I've actually covered in the past. Those are the two predominant Go-based game engines out there. So if Go is your jam and you want to create games with it, these are your two options. Why would you pick Go? Mostly because you already like Go, I would assume. Again, it is a system-level language, so it should be built for performance, and you should be able to determine things like when garbage collection happens so you don't have slowdowns, etc. But I'm not going to pretend for a second like I know a damn thing about Go. So if you're here and you're looking for a Go game engine, these are your two choices. You got eBit Engine, and then, of course, you have the Kaiju engine. And those are kind of it. And if you're looking for a Go-based game engine, these are them. If you're not, well, there's literally nothing here other than a couple of Kaiju jokes. Let me know what you think of the Kaiju engine, of the Go programming language, and tell me if you use Go for game development, why? All right, that's it. I will talk to you all later, and goodbye.